bottom of the afternoon to you, gentlemen.
As opposed to the top of the morning.
Why, yes! I cannot remember the last time I did not have to explain.
I have been in the company of those who share a similar sense of humour for decades now.
No offence, General, but is your council not serious about retaking Delphi?
Mind your manners, sonny.
Marsh, Trigger and the council promised to consider retaking Delphi at their last session.
And?
I know that Trigger eventually put his support behind my proposal. Marsh and the council did not object when I left. As for Calden, suffice to say, he was convinced to accompany me.
I'm going to have to be brutally honest with you here, General. Given your most recent military engagement, why not give Calden the opportunity to take the lead on this attack?
Under the terms of our military alliance, a rank in the Greek army is equivalent to the same in Britain, no?
And vice versa.
So I am in charge of our current collective regardless of whether we call ourselves British or Greek then, no?
Orders, sir.
Let's make Delphi ours once more. Why did we have to kill every one of them? Why? Why couldn't they surrender?
The Egyptians never surrender. Their ruler kills the family of any man who dares to flee the battlefield or surrender.
That's cruel.
And efficient. They are treated as a disposable resource. A man who fights until death has nothing to lose. A heroic death will grant them entrance to the afterlife, the so-called Great River. Half of my men have been lost. Did they go to the glorious thereafter? Were they lost in vain?
What are you talking about? We've retaken the city, beat them back.
But was it worth all the lives? You've lost people too. Doesn't it ever seem to you that so many of our battles served nothing? No decisive victories, only attack after attack. We, the British, have been losing men for centuries, and yet hardly anything changed. Neither we or our enemy has managed to gain a permanent advantage. As abruptly as I have replaced my predecessor in command, so could I have died this day. I've never realized until now what a terrible toll we pay. If you'll excuse me, I have half of my company to bury.
So many lives lost, but worthy to be lost. Who can bring us decisive victory?
Virtu, Colden, on behalf of the Greek people, we are eternally grateful for your successful retaking of Delphi from the Egyptians.
As a fellow general of mine has said before, we were just doing our job.
Another modest general? What were the odds?
Virtu, I realize that there is no ideal time for this, but a situation has arisen with Spice.
Send him on a convoy to London to meet up with Tycoon if you are so concerned.
That may eliminate the source of the issue, but not the contamination. He has managed to convince one of Parango's colonels that...
Why don't you let your daughter here take you to temple this afternoon? I'm certain you'll run into Spice there, and you can tell him the news yourself.
But council procedures...
Allow a single councilman authorized to transfer non-military personnel until further notice. I know you oppose this change, but I'm certain the original rule will be restored.
As for my daughter, she...
Would be happy to escort her father and her mother to temple this afternoon. Come along.
Colden, if it were up to Marsh and Trigger, we would still be drowning our sorrows in ale, rather than raising our cheer. As it is, Newsome is badly mounted, and many of his men lost their lives in their haste to comply with the council's orders to take up defense of the capital. They were ambushed by an Egyptian war party. Why didn't he follow Maynard's more discreet route? Why?
John, Charles, perhaps you would listen to some reason for a moment?
We can certainly, entertain some at this time.
We are on the verge of advancing to a new age of thought. With it comes some new and improved military technologies that I believe you will all find most...
You knew perfectly well that I am as literate as you are now. Why don't you put together a report and leave it at the barracks for me to look at later? We ultimately lost Delphi in the first place because of the withdrawal of the bulk of our forces back to Athens, a clear overreaction, as a result of the influence Marsh and Trigger wield over the council. Even now they only see Delphi as a liability. They are likely to recommend using it as a bargaining chip in any peace treaty negotiations. To top it all off, rumor has it Lookout has formed a Spartan dissenter party, and with these most recent events, it's only a matter of time before a similar movement in our third city emerges. To put it bluntly, Marsh and Trigger have to go, and I believe that you, Colden, will pledge your support in this effort to me now.
What is the meaning of this?
Pharaoh Manager sent her greetings, Otto.
But we were allies.
Manager does not need allies but servants at this moment.
Councilman Achilles, may I speak to you in private?
Of course, private, but you must keep it short. It's only a couple of years before the Greek people are to cast their ballots again, and if I intend to run as a Spartan candidate this time, my campaign team and I have much to review.
I found Lieutenant's body on the battlefield of a skirmish we fought together against the Egyptians.
You have reported his death to Virtu already, correct?
Yes, sir.
Why are you telling me this?
I was the ranged attack infantry liaison who met you just a few kilometers outside the city not long ago. He died at the hands of the Egyptians.
Of course. I didn't recognize you now that your uniform is so dirty. You had best...
No one has told Heracles yet.
You interrupted me to say... They were distant even when compared to most brothers.
They are, or identical twins, Councilman.
Do not backtalk to me, boy! That's hardly news and hardly relevant. Rest assured Virtu will hear of this insubordination. Be gone with you.
If my face is so forgettable, perhaps I won't have to go to the effort of disguising it the next time I cut my commander off from the rest of the forces, so they can be slain by our enemies. At the rate this war is going, Virtu will have no choice but to live out his promise to promote me.
Greeks killed leader? How on earth would they know where and when to strike?
It is clear that there is a traitor amid your ranks. This is why I was sent here, not as a liaison, but as a replacement.
Ninetjer assured me I was leader's replacement in waiting.
And who knows if yours wasn't the dagger that killed him? Be thankful your kind still has municipal control of the cities you founded, like the one that Greek explorer and scout discovered by accident, or the one that the Greeks would still likely be occupying had it not been defended at the cost of Egyptian blood. Had you cooperated with us from the beginning, your second city would probably still be standing as well. For now, you will report to me until we find the traitor. I am sure you will cooperate in the investigation. Now, report on your previous assignment.
My report is this. I don't know why Terwakoman resigned his commission in the military and is refusing to speak about it, or speak at all for that matter. We're only colleagues, but...
He is not the same man that helped me locate those precious metals those many years ago. I thought he would open up to a non-Egyptian.
I may only be a non-Egyptian to you, but everyone, from the pharaoh down to the lowliest slave, knows you both paid a heavy price for not scouting out the other side of that cliff. Had you, the Greeks' presence would have been detected early enough to prevent them from establishing a settlement there. Without those metals, they wouldn't have a phalanx to their name, and their cities would have been ours.
Perhaps, but that is neither in the here or now. Ninetjer has made no secret that she wants Terwakomen to act as a liaison between the Egyptian kingdom and the Roman Republic. If this alliance falls through...
Muta! I mean no disrespect, HATSHEPSUT, but I knew of no other way of getting your attention again short of physically assaulting you.
So cursing at me was only the second most foolish thing you could have done in this circumstance. Still, I know you have always chosen your words carefully, so there must be a very good reason for this insubordination.
As I was saying, I didn't know the reason, but Zack did. How he found out, he still won't say.
Why didn't you say that from the beginning? Why all the drama?
Apparently, Terwakoman had a brief but passionate affair with a Greek slave a couple of decades ago. She and her husband were among those freed by the British along with that Greek explorer, but this affair ended on the most serious of notes.
He sired the bastard.
We don't know if she brought the child to term, let alone its sex. She was only a few months pregnant when she was rescued.
At the risk of letting you know more than I would prefer, we are the weaker of the two parties in a Roman alliance. Fighting wars on two fronts was hard enough in the long term, but with their uniting their own efforts against us, the alternative would have necessitated at least a truce with one of them.
Unless your historians missed something, the Egyptians have never failed to end a war that they began.
Did you notice how you just talked about yourself in the third person?
I won't stand here and be insulted any further.
You are the prime suspect for a traitor, but there is a way to clear your name. Get Terwakomen to withdraw his resignation, or you will be burned alive alongside leader's corpse.